Hey guys, Artosis here, bringing you some more pro gamer casts. Here I have a 3-game set between Scan, my good friend and pro Terran player, in the bottom right of Polypoid, and then ssinz over in the bottom left. Ssinz, you know, a very aggressive Protoss, for those of you who don't kind of remember him, a little bit brainy as well. He's been in ASL a couple times at least. And definitely a very strong one. I would say that it's a pretty close match, maybe slightly ssinz favored here. But we'll see how that goes down. I did end up sponsoring this match and a few others that I'll be showing in the coming days, so I hope that you guys do enjoy them. Please do hit that like button, leave a comment, and of course subscribe and hit the notification bell. I do appreciate it, guys. So, good old Polypoid TVP. Definitely my favorite of the maps that are currently kind of in rotation for pretty much every matchup. It's just such a standard, nice, comfortable map that doesn't feel like it's greatly favored in any one way. You know, there's like an ever-evolving meta that we see occur within this matchup in general. Like, for instance, we see a lot of Nexus first. Currently, although I guess it's maybe dying down a little bit as Terrans have gotten extremely good at busting Nexus first. It's like when there's a Nexus first, unless it's cross spawn, it feels like you never see the Nexus live. Now the Protoss might be still ahead after that, but generally the Nexus does get taken down. Now that being said, of course, we see the gateway. We'll see if it is just a gateway into Nexus or possibly just going up into tech. Yeah, it's going to be tech. Not too surprised to see that here from ssinz. Definitely, as far as aggressive players go, a slightly more technical one. He's not necessarily just gates in the middle like Mini might do or something, but yeah, a little bit more muscle behind the way that he plays it. Now, we have the gas taken. Okay, he does put the 2 SCVs on, so it looks like it's probably just going to be a factory expand. Very forward barracks right here. This is actually a little bit scary, because if your opponent got in here very quickly with Zealot and Marine, Zealot and Probe, they could block the Marine, and the Marine can't run to the left, right? Because the Marine will pop out here. So if you put anything here, like if you have a Zealot here, the Marine basically dies, which is why you normally will have the barracks somewhere else, because then if you put the Zealot there, you just run around that way, right? Or if the Zealot's on the other side, you run around the other way. So here, this is, yeah, it's like a little bit crazy to see. But the factory is going down. More Marines being produced. Looks like no range as of yet. There is a Dragoon on the way. And we'll see as this SCV comes down. There is this forward pylon, of course. So I think we're just going to see a Nexus. Now, if you go Nexus without range, that is bustable very similarly to a Nexus first. You know, people have gotten so much practice at this point, just kind of killing Nexuses that come out too fast. And this is definitely one that could be. Let's see. He's going to pop in and see, like, wow, that's a very, very quick Nexus. Will he get aggressive? There's 3 Marines already. Honestly, you could even put pressure on here, where you make the 4th Marine and the Vulture and just go. But it looks like Scan has just decided to go ahead and make that command center. No problems there. Not that far behind, really. As you see, it's like, what, 30% quicker on the Nexus, but not a big deal because you can't really put pressure on anyways as Protoss, so Terran can just kind of macro freely. Now, he does bring down the Probe and Dragoon. He tries to bring them down at once because 3 Marines beat a Dragoon, but if the Probe is there, then the Protoss units win. That's how close these battles are. So the SCV helped. He targeted it immediately, and that just swung it into Scan's favor. So he's going to be able to get this bunker up now. The Vulture has come out, and of course, the Vulture coming back to help out if that Dragoon tries to push its luck here. So he puts a little bit of extra damage on, and the Marine's going to pull back. He is making another one because, again, they have taken a bit of damage, and ssinz is microing nicely. So looks like that will finish up. The little scrap seems to be over. There is an SCV over here, so he actually can repair that Vulture. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Robo on the way, as well as that range upgrade for Dragoons. Command Center almost finished up here. Nexus is done. Probes a little bit late on the send. And yeah, just repairing. Looks like the Dragoons are searching for this. He knows a Vulture is out, and he wants to find it. Oh my god. Oh, yeah, he just saw it. It looks like he didn't actually see it, though, even though his unit kind of got the blip on the mini-map. All right, the Vulture going to take a couple more hits. Luckily, it did get repaired, or it would have died there. Mines almost done. The Vulture, there it is. Going, just kind of running away, trying to get away from the Dragoons. You really, if you go for a mine opener and you lose your first Vulture, it's one of the worst feelings in the whole world. 3 less mines is pretty gigantic. Now, mines being put up, oh my god, ssinz runs up the ramp and catches that first mine just in the nick of time. Couple more mines going up, and with the 3 Vultures, he's going to be able to lay mines wherever he likes, just kind of get some intel. There is a very quick armory as well, so Scan clearly going for an upgrade rush here. Like, when you get your upgrades going that quickly with a mine expand, you don't have any potential to attack your opponent, but you're pretty safe, and you're definitely going to scale well as the game gets longer. All right, Robo Support Bay is coming up here for ssinz. Look at that mine spread right now as well. Just beautifully done. And in fact, even puts one down here. This is more of, less of a let's catch units thing and more of a let's watch a shuttle fly over it mine right there. It doesn't give the best radius, but you can catch it from time to time. And if you look, it's like almost a full arc of mines. So if he's really paying attention, he should be able to see anything coming out. That's going to give you a lot of confidence here as Scan. Now, the shuttle is out. Shuttle speed is on the way, so definitely we're going to see some aggressive Reaver harassment. See what he can get done with that. The second factory coming up, as well as the Academy right thereafter. There's the eBay also. It's like ssinz right now just kind of clearing out some of these mines. And this is like pretty darn standard openers that we're looking at right now. Siege mode is going to be finishing up here. You know, just in time before anything can really get out of the map across to him. Out comes the Reaver. And I believe he only has Dragoons to put in that shuttle as well. So it'll probably end up being just Dragoon Reaver. Of course, a Dragoon not super useful with the shuttle. Like, 2 Zealots, they tank a lot more damage. They can pull mines. You know, they live longer. They actually have higher DPS, damage output, right? So they pair much better with that Reaver. But, you know, you put whatever in there that you can get. His build has been a little bit greedy. Like, he doesn't have much at home, right? What is this? 4 Dragoons total, other than this Reaver. Now, speed is almost done. We actually have range for Goliaths just started up, so that'll be nice. The quick starport to go along with the armory +1, so we can get that +2 rolling. And the shuttle just flying around. Like, he doesn't have speed yet, so maybe he's stalling out a bit. And honestly, I don't think there's too much potential for damage anyways. This is a very, very well-placed turret, another well-placed turret here, and then he's got the Goliath in the center to kind of clean up anything else that comes in. 2 more actually being made right now. Observer coming across for the scout. 3rd Nexus is coming up. Kind of a, you know, other than the little micro battle we had here with the Marines versus the Dragoon and Probe, it's been a very quiet game thus far. Not a whole lot going on. Like, both sides are kind of like skimping as much as possible and getting as much done as they possibly can, and thus are not really able to do anything to each other. See the Stargate coming up, a couple more gates as well. Oh, wow, this Stargate, I think this is carriers, actually. It really looks like it. But Scan's build is actually pretty decent against that, and he has a scanner, so we'll try to keep a look and see if he scans over here and figures out what's going on. 3rd Command Center coming up. Yeah, 2-1 upgrades already started here for Scan. Yeah, and there is the carrier tech. 2nd Stargate and Fleet Beacon. Where is that Scan? Okay, well, and comes a Reaver drop. And he will slow down the Command Center a little bit. It's not the end of the world. Not that big of a deal. Small group of Dragoons out at the front here as well. The Goliath's going to walk up and make sure that that cannot happen again. And yeah, man, this is where we just kind of wait a minute, because you know, something I've talked about in the past quite a bit with Protoss is this is the main transition that exists in PvT. Nothing else is really a transition. Like, making an Arbiter doesn't really slow down the production of anything else, right? It's kind of like making a science vessel as a Terran player. It's like, yes, it's kind of expensive, but it doesn't like make you stop other units or delay upgrades or anything to get that. Whereas when you're going carriers, that is something that it's like, okay, that is so much money, and it takes them so long to be impactful because you got to build the carriers, and then you got to build interceptors. But also, 2 carriers don't really do it. You really need like 4 before they become something that can really battle. So it's like kind of the one transition that exists. So you're kind of weak as Protoss when that's occurring, and you want to play like this, where you have kind of the pulled back army, right? Like, he's just on the very fringes. There's no way he's going to engage. Well, we shouldn't say that. We do see plenty of pro gamers actually run up and lose their army while they're going carrier, but it's not how you should do it. So ssinz, I think, is playing it very, very well. Like, he's just keeping these little groups of units on the edges. He's like, all right, slow you down, because he's buying time, and he can't fight. Like, even though he has a lot more supply, this is a better army, what we see for Scan. Like, it's, look at this. It's Dragoons. He's starting to get some Zealots. He doesn't even have the leg upgrade yet. The leg upgrade actually comes pretty late when you're going carriers. It's like after you get your carriers out, you get your Citadel and get that upgrade, which is, of course, that makes your army that much more powerful. But yeah, it kind of makes these games where you're sitting there as Protoss, so you're kind of like, okay, we're going to try to outscale them. But that means that there is no real danger to Terran at this time. Now, it looks like he wants to fly in with the shuttle. It does have speed. He flies past that first turret into the second one and gets it out. So this is highly annoying. Let's see what type of damage this Reaver can get done. Dudded first Scarab. He's going to go ahead and take down a turret. And, you know, it's lost mining time, and he has to deal with it. So that's, like, really annoying. Going to try to kill off another turret here to the side. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The second shuttle flies directly into these Goliaths. Absolutely painful. Now the Dragoons just picking off units as they can. Still no Zealot legs. In fact, do we have a Citadel yet? I don't believe that we do. So that is a little bit of an issue for him. It's not uncommon to not have Zealot legs yet, so it's not like he's playing poorly or anything, but those Zealots not going to be very useful. And look at this Scan hitting this attack timing right now. Even though, again, you see there's a lot of supply right now for ssinz, but a lot of it's in carriers that don't have interceptors, and 3 more being made. So that is, like, basically, Scan has more functional supply right now for this attack. Now, coming forward, he does have 2-1 upgrades, carriers being pushed around. A group of units out on the map still. That's definitely something that's a very useful tactic. You can bring it down and try to cut off reinforcements. But this attack is so strong, this game might just end. Look at this. Gets some mines up here. He's going to clear the Dragoon. He can easily take out this base if he sends like 2 more units up there. All those probes should get wrecked. Oh, I love this. Look, he actually makes the wall instantly, then deals with this. So that's going to buy him a lot of time at the 3rd base. That's actually an amazing move. And don't forget, he did take this 4th base up at 12 o'clock. Kind of a hidden base. Loses his natural, though. So that is an issue. Now we do have 5 carriers out because he went up to that 3rd Stargate. And this is where he can get a little bit aggressive now. Look at this. Most of Scan's army over on the other side. Dragoons coming up, clearing some of these mines. And this is not a very large army for Scan. It looks like he wants to turn around with a big group of his units. But the Dragoons on the high ground are going to make it difficult for those Goliaths to come up and engage. Looks like the carriers just kind of flying through, killing whatever they can. The high ground Dragoons buying huge amounts of time. I love the pickoff of the Siege Tanks. Definitely a very strong move here. But all the Dragoons will finally get killed off. A couple Siege Tanks getting up into this 3rd. Very, very important moment for Scan as well. He must pick that off. And the carriers have some heavy lifting to do if ssinz is going to be able to take this game. Yeah, we hear a carrier pop, one of the greatest sounds in Brood War. They really nailed it with that almost 24 years ago now. Taking a look. Very good set of factories. So we have 8 facts just producing, throwing some missile turrets down as well just to slow down the carriers. Oh my God, the Goliaths catch some of these carriers out here. Very few units on the map right now. More carriers do come out. But I think he's lost enough carriers that Scan really shouldn't be afraid of anything at this point. I'd love to see Scan, by the way, throw a Nexus down up here. That's like generally the best place to expand against carrier is like as far away as you possibly can because you're going to gain map control for quite some time. Once the carrier player has map control, that's nearing the end for Terran. 3rd base did get busted, and since there hasn't been a GG yet, Scan might start to get A little bit suspicious. Yeah, okay, maybe he even scanned it because he has 2 tanks going up to 12. So, looks like he knows what's going on, where the final bases are. Can ssinz hold on? His army is quite a bit bigger at this point, but the upgrades are here. The quality is here for a scan, so I don't think he's too worried about that. Comes up the ramp, and it looks like this last mining base in some trouble. Going after those cannons first, just kind of automatically. Scan pulls back with his army. Looks like he wants to reinforce, which is definitely not a bad idea. Single vulture picking off some of these probes as they run away. ssinz remaking his natural expansion. He's almost not mining at this point. He can't even really afford interceptors, as you can see. This is a lot of Goliaths. 2/2 upgrades with +3 attack almost done. Another expansion coming up here for Scan. A hard one to defend with Goliaths, but at least it's far away, right? Like, this one would be the hardest one to defend. And in fact, the carrier's going to immediately start to hit upon this. And yeah, this one is like... This one's a fool's errand, to be honest. Like, that is just not a base you'll ever take in these positions against carrier. You see he just cancels it off immediately. I think Scan a little bit on autopilot there. The carrier's harassing heavily. They do get forced back, though. 3/2 upgrade Goliaths are nothing to scoff at, even for large carrier numbers. This base has been picked off. And, all right, I mean, he's got his natural up in mining again. Scan doesn't have... Well, he does have a huge economy, truly. 57 workers still. He has this new gas coming up, which is the important thing. Another base coming up as well. And his supply is starting to dominate. Up 50 supply, only 27 of which is in workers. So the carrier army really has to do everything. Still no zealot legs, by the way, so these are purely for tanking. They're barely connected with the army of Scan. All right, ssinz coming in now. The carriers trying to kite back and do whatever damage that they can. Picking off a few Goliaths here and there. I like the unit rotation. Look where he's going. Like that top right, he can pick that off. Scan right now, honestly, the best move would be to do a little counterattack. Even just a couple vultures would absolutely devastate the economy of ssinz. ssinz now going to force a cancel on this command. This one's still being made. That one's a little bit too far back for him to go after right this second. Now the army coming down to try to fight against these Goliaths. Oh my god. ssinz taking a pretty good engagement there for a moment, but as Scan's entire army comes to bear, he has to turn around. ssinz now going for this new expansion. Like I mentioned, with these ramps, it's very hard to defend this base. The carriers can get in and out very quickly. The Goliaths take a long time. So ssinz getting a lot of value here, picking off Goliaths as they try to come up the ramp. Yeah, he's doing quite a good job. Now, the Dragoons are actually fighting against the tanks and vultures, so Scan is getting the engagements that he wants right now. The Dragoons trying to be as efficient as they possibly can, but with 0/0 upgrades against 3/2, you are just not going to win that battle. Now he kills off, oh my god, the SCV making that command center so annoying. And actually not that many Goliaths left over here. Let's take a look at the carrier count. 8 carriers against 9 Goliaths, 3 of which are about to die. The carriers will actually end up cleaning this up. Dude, if he actually ends up taking this, he was on, like, 1 base. Oh, okay, here we go. This is an important moment. Some great mines get laid down. Every goon gets absolutely destroyed. A single vulture left over. No real... Okay, so he started 4 goons, and that's it. But that's going to be it as far as his economy goes. So the carriers have to do basically everything. The carriers in this small group of goons have to do everything now for ssinz. They have to literally win the game. And that seems impossible at this point. Look at this. Coming in towards this 3rd gas. And, I mean, it is a lot of anti-air firepower. The Dragoons have to get up here to try to help. With the turrets and Goliaths, it is a tough one. Carriers gonna continue to help here as well. The Siege Shanks, kind of out of position. They're coming up to try to help deal with those Dragoons, but not sure if that's going to work out that well. The carrier's getting some sick value. And look at this. He can pick off every single Siege Shank now. Not that that should be enough, because the Siege Shanks don't really mean that much anymore, since all of his Dragoons are going to end up dying. More Goliaths coming out, but he will pick those off as well. ssinz actually making this incredibly close, considering he is not even mining at this point. He can't rebuild a single interceptor. Like, these literally have to win the entire game, like I mentioned. just the bank that Scan has. He can build enough turrets probably to end this. A lot of the Goliaths do end up getting picked off. He's flying towards the main base now, so a lot of these turrets starting to fire as well. Goliaths flanking from that 4th base location. And I think we're about to see a GG. That's it. Scan wins game 1.